Let's crack it open.
All right.
Open a beer. Sit back, relax. You know the show. We're finally back. Do you want me to do the voice? Good Costanza.
I love it.
We are back, baby. In that ass. You know Frank gets in that ass. Anyway, you know the show. We took a little hiatus for a while. We had to recover, lick our wounds from that Purdue loss, kind of regroup as the team did. We needed to regroup on our own, get back to Buckeye football and what this team is all about. We need to recharge our batteries. Shawn, have you done any tackling drills in the off week?
I didn't. I did about as many as the Buckeyes did leading up to this. So
Okay.
I hope they were busier than me this week.
Yeah, maybe they hit the tackling harder than you did, I hope.
Well, maybe they could start with two-hand touch. Learn how to touch a guy.
That's a good point, yeah. You got to get close to the guy to touch him. That'd be a start.
Do those old those drills, pursuit drills.
Yep.
On the side there, everybody's got to touch him.
Right. Duck, duck, goose, basically. I mean, with pads on. So anyway, we're not going to recap that fucking Purdue game. I know everybody knows what happened. So many different issues with that game. We're gonna jump right into the hot topics of today, and basically that is Urban Meyer's health issues. I'm sure everybody's seen and heard plenty about it. ESPN can't fucking quit talking about it. Of course, you got Feinbaum on there. He's had a stick up his ass for Urban Meyer since he left Florida. Fortunately, now DJ Durkin is the new meat on his prowl. So let's talk about Herb. So Tuesday he met with a handful of reporters to discuss his health, and he says he wants to keep coaching. He wants to coach next year. He expects to be back next year, but he does have this cyst on his brain. And in case anybody hasn't heard, this is a serious thing. He's managed it mostly with medication and things, and he did have a procedure back in 2014 to relieve pressure. It was like over a weekend, and he came back, and you didn't even know that this wasn't discussed at all, obviously. And it was early in 2014, and obviously we led to the title game. Amazing what he went through that season when you think back. Just not just the games, but as a person, what he had to go through with having this procedure and wondering what's next, and having to maintain this problem with medication and things like that. So anyway,
how do we not know that Urban Meyer had brain surgery in 2014? How does that go under the radar?
If Urban Meyer wants it under the radar, he has the money to make sure it's under the radar. You know that. He's got a good doctor, good nurses, and it's HIPAA rules all. So you can't release any medical information, otherwise you're in violation of the law nowadays. So one of the big things is the doctor told him to not yell at people anymore, which is fucking laughable. But he cannot blow a whistle. That's something he can't do physically, otherwise it incites this.
The doctor told him he can't yell at anybody or blow a whistle?
Yeah, I think the yelling was probably minimal, like a joke. But he does not blow a whistle anymore, and stress activates this cyst and brings on more intensity to these headaches. So like we saw him at the Indiana game, right? Took a knee late in the game. That was from the headache, and he has to take medication. Obviously it's got to be a super strong painkiller or something to knock that fucker out.
He's a tweaker. He's off his pain med.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure he's part of the opioid crisis in Ohio. Anyway,
he might have to be if that's what it is, and it's that debilitating. Had
right.
things like that, and
right.
Good Lord. Thoughts and prayers for Urban Meyer getting through that stuff. But I feel like, could this maybe getting a little bit overhyped?
I'm not sure.
When
a guy's taking a knee
why
on the sideline,
there's about it now.
Well, because it's become so intense and obvious when it's on tape that he had to take a knee, and then he had to talk about it afterwards. There's also an incident at the Penn State game this year that has not gone reported much, that there was a similar, he had to take a knee or lay down at Penn State in the locker room. So this wasn't out in the wide open on tape or anything, but this didn't really go widely reported. So that tells me, if you think about, he had this procedure in 2014, maybe it alleviated some of the pressure and the pain over a year or two, but now the thing is back, and maybe it's more impactful than ever, right? I mean, this is not going away.
Maybe, or is this not as big a deal as everyone's trying to make it sound, and Herb's looking for a way quietly walk away and not do it while saying "fuck you, Mr. President of Ohio State," whatever his name is, I forget it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not denying that it's an issue. I know it's an issue, but I've got a friend with, maybe a similar type of issue, and it's not like his life's stopping. And Herb's got the means that he can, and I know when these things happen and come up on you, you start thinking about things a lot different. Yeah. And it starts to make a little bit of sense. But could this be, like, possibly Herb could coach for another 10 years with this cyst? I mean, it's not like he's gonna die here. I mean, I haven't heard anyone say that, hey, this is something that's so bad that he's gonna die. What's he gonna do? Just lay in a bed and have headaches for the next 10 years? I mean, I don't necessarily buy all that.
But it's stress, and obviously being a college football coach at that level is the ultimate stressor. How long can you go at that level and still be effective before it cuts into your abilities, right?
Well, to me, you can do it, and I think it's just part of Herb's persona, but I think other people could. Herb doesn't even really need to deal with the stress. Yeah, he's the guy that it all falls down on, but he always puts such good coaches around him.
Right. He's built an infrastructure that's solid, a good foundation.
And I know we're spoiled brats and think Ohio State should win a national championship every year, but if
he built the expectation.
If they're not there for, you're right, he did. If they're not there a year, the wheels aren't coming off, or I don't know. But he likes that pressure. He's always wanted that pressure.
Yeah,
he
he's
goes
a
for
fighter.
That pressure.
Yeah,
I don't think if he isn't doing this job, he's gonna have pressure that he's not coaching. He's the guy's wound tight.
Right.
Maybe he's learned to fish more or something. Seems like a lot of those football guys like to fish. It's relaxing. There's no stress fishing.
Right. Well, if it were as simple as that, that'd be great. But it seems like it's a little more intense, and maybe, I mean, we can grab at straws all night long. I would say maybe the stress of July and August and the whole bullshit from the Zach Smith incident led up to that and probably didn't help that matter, So you can say that maybe this has just been a bad fucking year and things can get better for him physically with the cyst and everything, but who knows? I mean, what happens if at this time next year he's like debilitated and in a hospital? You saw that what's his name, Jerry Kill at Minnesota. That guy was having seizures on the sidelines.
He was doing that like his whole career or something. Though. He was like always like that. He was epileptic or something.
Right, but I'm saying, how far do you take it looking at it from a personal point of view, not a football coach point of view, how far do you keep putting yourself in this position, like kind of in harm's way, before you say enough is enough? I got to think about my health. That remember the whole contract he signed with his kids when he took the Ohio State job, on that pink piece of paper? It's like, I'm going to take care of my health. That was like number one. So,
Well, I mean, if they're saying, and I think stress is not good for anything, but if it is fact that Urban's job makes a cyst on his brain worse than doing some other thing, and you can show me that there's some data that fucking backs that up, then I'll be on board.
What if he just says, "Look, this makes me..."
The optics of it from the people I hear from up here are like, "Oh, here we go with fucking Herb." And
do you live in Gainesville or something? Because this sounds just like Gator fans.
No, I'm telling you, that's up here in Michigan. That's what these Spartan fans are asking me.
Those guys, those trailer park trash motherfuckers.
I know.
They got a lot of nerve. I'll tell you that. So this whole scenario you just laid out just sounds exactly like what I deal with on a day-to-day basis here in the Tampa area and St. Pete. All the Gator fans that are around, which there's not a shitload of, to be honest with you. But everyone I run into, like when I go to Starbucks, I tell them my name's Urban Meyer, and I get glares from people. and one lady one time said, "That's a dangerous game you're playing." And I said back to her, I said, "You guys are some really spiteful motherfuckers for somebody that won you 2 national championships." And I said, "How many national championships do you have total? 3? And he won you 2 of them? You guys hate the guy?" And they all say, "Oh, I don't like the way he left. I don't like the way he left." He left, so what?
He left because you are a bunch of dirty bastards out there in the South. He had to get out of that filthy ass.
Yeah, he felt the filth on him and the scum. And so anyway, it's hilarious. I kind of enjoy it. But anyway, so let's merge into kind of the recruiting aspect, because this is an obvious impact, because people have been talking shit about Herb for years. Dabo, who has been called to the carpet by reporters about negatively recruiting Urban Meyer specifically, has not even denied it. And even Jackson Carman, that cocksucker that everybody thought was going to be a Buckeye, and at the last minute flipped to Clemson, said after he flipped that Dabo said that Urban Meyer was on the backside of his career with no knowledge
I'm glad we didn't get that kid.
Yeah. Is he starting? No, he's not.
Just that, if you're going to say that about the guy recruiting you and then still go to play for him, what does it say about you?
Exactly, that's a great point. But some kids will be swayed by that, by a coach talking about it, and Dabo tried to play it off like, well, sometimes the conversation goes in that direction. Yeah, whatever, dude. Like the kid said, "How much longer do you think Urban Meyer is going to be around?" Bullshit. Fuck you, Dabo. I can't wait till Clemsoning is a fucking verb again. So anyway, Herb says he plans to coach next year, and this might be kind of almost a year-to-year contract coach, right?
Well, certainly if things turn to the south as you suggest they could or should or may, then yeah, I mean, him putting that out there, he kind of, he opens up his nose now to the criticism and some of that they're going to get, because it's like, hey, he's the one that fucking held the presser and said he's got something wrong with him, not me. So at this point, it's not even negative recruiting. It's just like, that's what the guy said.
Yeah.
I mean, but it certainly cuts down on my timeline for how long I think Herb will be there. I thought it'd, potentially be a decade longer.
See, I was thinking 7 to 8 years at a max, and we've almost exceeded that.
Oh, you total?
Yeah,
I was thinking a decade from maybe 2025, something like that.
Wow. Apparently, you haven't hung out with too many Gator fans.
No, I haven't.
You're lucky.
There's not too many Gators up here in the north. They don't like the cold.
Yeah. So yeah.
But the recruiting, where does it go? I don't
know.
If Urban's there or not there. Urban's been recruiting at a off the charts level that is just unreal.
Right. Whoever
takes over for him, yes, that'll go down, I think, for a little bit. But if we keep the position coaches and keep that tradition strong of Ohio State coaches and developing coaches and players, and you keep putting kids in the league, I mean, what, you're going to pick Indiana over Ohio State?
Right. Well, kids just did that, player? Actually.
Well, I know there's some, but like in droves, are you?
Right.
I guess if they do, then we're in deep shit.
Right. But hold on, I wanted to say, let's not keep all the fucking coaches. The position coaches. There's a few I have an issue with. But anyway, while we're on the recruiting topic, Wan'Dale Robinson out of Kentucky just committed to Kentucky today, who was offered by everybody big. Buckeyes thought we had him. He was offered by Bama, went on official visits to them. I believe he went to Florida State, and I can't remember the others. But anyway, Buckeyes thought we had him locked up, as he's right over the river down there, but he committed today. He's an athlete, kind of H-back is what he would have played at Ohio State, but in my opinion, a little undersized at like 5'8", 5'9", so I'm kind of tired of those little guys anyways. But as far as recruiting goes, and really I want to talk about ESPN and their...
But if you're a running back, you don't want to get coached by, Alford, Ryan Day, Kevin Wilson,
sure,
Hartline.
Right.
I mean, Ohio State still has a lot to offer.
Well, I agree. I don't disagree at all. I think this kid kind of committed on Kentucky's latest popularity and strength that they've had this season. They're probably going to get smoked this week by Georgia, but somehow, was it Stoops? One of the Stoops boys is coaching that team. I can't remember. Mike or Mark, whoever didn't get fired from OU a couple weeks ago. The other one. So they're from Akron area. So anyway, they've always, since that Stoops guy has been there, they've recruited Ohio well, obviously, having ties to the high schools and stuff. So things I wanted to point out though that I'm sick of. This is going to be like my bitch session, so everybody, stick with me. I won't make it too long. ESPN, you are firmly getting 2 fingers up. I am tired of them overblowing everything with Ohio State and Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer's body language, just the anguish, as Kirk Herbstreit put it. He looks anguished on the sidelines. Yeah, that's what happens when we're down 29 to fucking Purdue. What do you think he's going to look like? A fucking cheerleader? Come on, man. I'm tired of them and all of those cocksuckers, Feinbaum, everybody on that network just banging on him and banging on Ohio State for no fucking reason. Herb is a guy that wears his passion and his feelings on his sleeve. It's obvious. He's always been that way. Go check the fucking tape. Even when we're winning games, he looks like he's about to kill himself. So I'm sick of the ESPN job. that is never ending, and it seems to be ramped up this year because of the preseason issues that we had going on.
Oh, it's definitely hyped up. I mean,
I'll take a knee.
It truly is the world versus the Buckeyes. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it other than don't watch ESPN. And thankfully, I don't.
Right.
So I don't listen or hear a lot of things that you're hearing. But yeah, it's just typical nonsense. And I've known everyone loves to hate the Buckeyes. When do the Buckeyes ever get any hype? Maybe even the first year when we won the playoff, they hated us then too.
Right.
So they always hated us. They always will. I'm fine with it. Fuck them.
Yeah.
The Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah. So let's talk on the field shit. Let's all go on the assumption that Herb is going to be fine. This is going to blow over. He's going to handle it, and he's going to be here for a while. So let's talk. I'm really leaning towards some staff changes in the off season before we get into on the field stuff. I'm leaning towards 3 guys, 2 of which need to be fired, and the other might just leave on his own volition for another job. Bill Davis and Coach Stud. I had high hopes for Coach Stud because he coached at LSU and cranked out some good O-linemen down there. But this O-line is weak as fuck. And Bill Davis, my opinions on Bill Davis are well documented on this podcast, right?
Well, I think we're all in unison on that.
Yeah, this O-line, man, I have not seen a softer O-line who gets in their own head, especially what?
Especially Isaiah Prince.
Right, I'm starting from the right and working my way left. I'm going from right tackle. I've never been a fan of Demetrius Knox. He started off poorly with his freeze frame against Clemson in the bowl game, and then center Michael Jordan is a great O lineman at guard, not at center. Okay, big difference. I think the injuries to Brady Taylor preseason, which he hasn't gotten over yet, and then Josh Myers not being ready because he's a fucking true freshman, are hindering that center position. So they kind of forced Jordan's hand to the center position, and he's just not cut out for it, obviously. I mean, his snaps are inconsistent. He might be calling the right protections from the center position at times, but we've seen a lot of blown coverage or blown protection, I should say, from the O-line. So then working my way over to Malcolm Pridgeon, he still is not good enough to play at Ohio State, in my opinion. I see him getting thrown around like a rag doll. I see him not sliding over to block guys. I see him just reaching at guys. And same with Knox. Those 2 guys, and that's why I think our running game is a shit show right now.
Oh, it's garbage. That's my big problem with them. They've done all right, in my opinion, pass protecting for the most part.
Right.
But we can't move a guy a foot.
Yep. We
can't push anybody.
Well, I will say they had interviews the other night, and Isaiah Prince was one of the interviews, and they talked about the RPOs. And I think these RPOs are the root of some of the problem in that these offensive linemen don't know what they're blocking for. They don't know if it's a run or a pass. Obviously, they can't turn around and look and see who has the fucking ball. So they're just blocking a guy, and they, like, Isaiah Prince got called for illegal man downfield last week, or against Purdue.
Yeah.
He didn't know because Haskins held on to the ball too long. So it was a pass. It was an RPO, but turned into a pass by the read. But since Haskins had to hang on to it for too long for somebody to get open, of course Prince got downfield because he didn't know. He smashed his guy and moved on. So it seems like we need to dial back the RPOs maybe. Where in the past we've pretty much not been an RPO team. We've been, Barrett or Dobbins or Weber are running the fucking ball three downs out of 4, right? And known pass plays were called in the huddle, not by a read by the quarterback where the O-line doesn't know that. So I think that's a big issue. It's one of those things.
Well, I don't think Haskins is, even the right guy to run that. I mean,
as far as what, keeping it?
Yeah, when you're doing that, the run pass option, you've got your running backs, but I don't know if it's a blocking scheme or whatnot, but I feel like the O-line gets nothing done when they're run blocking. They do all right because they're so damn big, pass protection, probably just because they're in the way. But zero push these guys. My conspiracy is they're all too damn tall,
right,
and people get underneath them.
That's very true. Pad level. Get your fucking pads down. And
I just think, we were bringing in a new offense this year, and if you're going to have the run pass option kind of be your thing, then I think you probably should have kept Joey Burrow.
Yeah.
You kind of can't have it both ways. So.
Yeah. I don't know if Haskins is not willing to run or if they don't want him to run, but he seems very, very apprehensive.
Dude, no, I am of the opinion he cannot run. He is awful.
But look at Michigan last year. He broke off that 25-yard run.
But he's going to slide. He looks like he's going to hurt himself.
Yeah.
He looks worse than like Tom Brady out there.
Right. He did not look like that against Michigan. He had a nice scamper there for 25. So I don't know. Maybe he really can't run and he just fooled us that one play.
Scared out of his mind. First time in the game. He's like, oh, shit.
Oh, run. Oh. Yeah. But, so the issues that got to get fixed right now, I hope they had to address these things in the bye week. Running game, number one, right? I mean, whatever it comes to, whether it's errors by the O-line, and you notice the running backs aren't breaking any tackles, by the way. Or is it play calling? Let's just run straight up run plays so that the O-line knows what's happening. Or the other thing is tackling on defense. I think those two big things, O-line and tackling, had to be addressed. I'll take a knee.
Well, I think obviously the O-line, the running game. Again, you cannot win in the Big Ten or probably the playoffs without a running game, I don't think. It's impossible. Sometimes you need the sustained drives and you need a running game. We don't have one. And we're about to play some, not this week, but coming up, some teams with some good running D. And the running game is the key to it all. If we don't fix it and fix it this week, we're fucked.
Right, and how much can you gauge against this Nebraska team as we kind of lead into them? How much can you really gauge against a team that's 2-6? Their run defense is 71st in the nation. I mean, yeah, it
they're
builds
playing
confidence.
Their best football. They're playing their best football they're playing all year. Ohio State is not. I think these guys are going to be hungry. It's Big Ten. It's Nebraska.
Yeah.
We've been blowing them out every year.
Scott Frost is on the team, just not playing.
Scott Frost is on the team.
So they're 2-6 as we lead into the Cornholers.
Well, hold on one second.
Okay.
Then the tackling, just wanted to address
Put
that.
it in reverse.
The tackling is atrocious, along with the positioning, out of position, or whatever's going on there. And people are nowhere even close.
Right. There's
That amazes me.
there's a scheme issue, I believe, and there's also a personnel issue. It's a combination of things. Scheming, I think you got to, from a pass defense point of view, you got to mix it up and play a little zone and a little man. You can't go all press man all day, all night. That obviously is not working for us. We don't have the horses, the quality players that we've had in the past. I'm not saying that who we have sucks. It's just not first round draft pick worthy, right?
We'll see. I mean, I don't think that's our problem necessarily. I think our corners are one of our bright spots on defense, tackling, but I think they played decent throughout the year. I think Sheffield has a lot of talent, and he'd have to finish real strong. But he's still got another. He could come back another year if he wants.
Right, he probably will.
And if he does, he's going to be a first-round pick. And to me, the next one that sticks out, I feel like Shawn Wade is starting to come along and play better, getting more minutes, making some dumb. He doesn't have the same minutes as Akuda has,
right?
Over the last 2 years, so certainly some growing pains. But to me, he looks fast out there. I don't know about that safety position. I really thought we'd start seeing some more of these freshmen.
Well, yeah. Wint got replaced by Pryor and was barely a step up. At safety, they got to do a lot of growing really quickly. So I think we're going to continue to see issues from them. Linebacker is a big issue. I think
that's a crapshoot.
Yeah, if you see at Purdue, they did back off the line a little bit, but they were still slow at reacting, especially when somebody's running a drag route right behind them and they get popped over the middle. So I know Tough Borland's still probably not 100%, but you got to get him out of there. He is a big problem. I don't know. There has to be somebody faster. Justin Hilliard has to be faster. I mean, Baron Browning, for Christ's sake, he's been less than impressive, but at least he's faster.
Yeah, he's not even seeing the field that much.
No.
And yeah, you got Borland out there. I guarantee because Borland knows how to call the defense. Or he didn't call it very well that game.
Yeah, I'm not sure Borland's really good at diagnosing the play as it happens or before it happens. And that's something that I'm sure he'll learn, but right now it's killing us. We need somebody that, like a seasoned vet almost, that is going to be in the middle, tell everybody where to line up, of course, and then diagnose the play and make the play, or at least have somebody in place to make the play. We're just not getting that right now.
I don't know who you're gonna. I don't know. I think it's going to be real interesting after that game, after what's been going on this season. Just had the bye week. It's going to be real interesting. Has the 2 deep come out for this game?
I'm sure it has. I just haven't seen it yet.
I'd like to know what's going on with that. Any change have been made?
Yeah, I'll look that up real quick while you talk about Nebraska stuff.
Nebraska, I don't know a ton about Nebraska except they got that Scott Frost, and I know they're really high on their true freshman Martinez quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if I haven't really watched him. If the kid's for real, though, a couple years, Scott Frost may have a decent team.
Right.
I don't think they're very good this year, but like I said, looks like they've been playing better as of late and kind of figuring it out. They're young. That's it. Did he just get lucky, or how did he turn UCF into a freaking powerhouse?
Yeah, I can't tell you.
Is it just the quarterback down there? I mean, is that it?
Yeah, the quarterback is good, and that's probably, his strength is coaching the quarterback and kind of manufacturing an offense around him. And they didn't have a terrible defense, but they also play in a shit conference. Was it the AAC? Right. I can't name 5 teams out of that conference. So yeah, I think we see this often. A new coach comes into a program and they light it up because he basically inspires them and gets them maybe playing over their heads, maybe a little better than they should have, and helping. It helps to play garbage talent. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at their schedule last year, but I don't know.
They always play a couple teams, and they usually do pretty well.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's some soft football they play most of the season.
Right. Yeah. No major changes to the 2 deep this week. You got Jordan Fuller, Isaiah Pryor at the safeties, and then you got Amir Reap backing up Fuller, and Jocelyn Went behind Pryor. So, yeah, nothing real different this week. Same corners. They do have Shawn Wade in at the nickel. Same linebackers. Nothing unusual there. Yeah, D-line, same shit. Chase, Draymond, BB Landers, and Cooper. Cooper is somebody that really has let me down this year. I'll tell you what, for all the hype, the 5 stars and everything, that guy, he does not show up on Saturdays, man. I would say maybe Chase Young is a little tired from playing so many snaps. He had the huge game against Penn State and all that, but since then, he hasn't really shown up either.
I have faith, and maybe this bye week is going to do it. Coop's always been my boy.
I hope so too.
Always been my boy. He's going to turn it up this week.
Yeah,
he should. He's that talented. That
right.
In his head, go get it.
But that's always been a question mark, though. The only negative I've ever heard about, I'm sorry, not Cooper, but Chase Young, is the consistency, bringing the motor every down, And I'm sure that's hard to do. I mean, we lost fucking Bosa. Let's not understate this. Bosa is arguably was the best college football player in the country.
Yeah.
It's almost like losing your starting quarterback, but of defense, obviously. So that can't be understated, in my opinion. Guys were thrust into a position they didn't expect. The scheme, I'm sure the scheme of the defense had to adjust. So obviously, a pass defense is helped most by a great pass rush. Look at what we did against teams like TCU. When they tried to drop back and pass against us, they got the Malachi crunch. So
I mean, I can't believe what the loss of Nick Bosa has done, and I totally underestimated what he was about. And like you said, him and his brother, they had that motor every play, all the time.
Right.
Go. That's what makes them the best.
Yep.
They just don't quit. But I thought, hey, we got a couple guys behind them. Shouldn't be that bad. Like you said, when you lose the best player in the country, Ohio State has really good players, but even though Cooper and Young could turn out to be just as good, they're not right now.
No, definitely not. So anyway,
they're not that level.